Namah Shivaya. How are you all? So today we are going to start a new lesson. Okay? And the name of that lesson is Chemical Bonding and Molecular Structure. Chemical Bonding and Molecular Structure. And this lesson is very important. Very important in the sense, this particular lesson is important not only in our 11th standard, but it is very important for our 12th standard also. So this is very important lesson. So in this lesson, we are going to study about chemical bonds and also the molecular structure. So how the atoms are combined and what is a chemical bond and what is the purpose of forming a chemical bond, which all types of chemical bonds are there, and so many things we are studying in this lesson. And this is actually a lesson in which we are studying the basic things in chemistry. Okay, and after this chemical bonding, next comes the molecular structure. So in molecular structure, we are studying the shape of molecules. How the molecules are formed, what is the shape of the molecule, or what is the geometry of the molecule, what is the hybridization of molecule, all such things we will study in this lesson. Okay, so this is a very important lesson. So can we start the class? Okay. We know that as human beings, we cannot exist alone, or we cannot live independently. We need the support of our parents, teachers, friends, everyone. Similarly, in the case of animals and birds also, they cannot live independently. We didn't see a bird or an animal that is living alone. And not only in the case of animals and birds, in the case of human beings also. Just like that, atoms also cannot exist independently, except noble gases. So what are noble gases? Noble gases are elements. They doesn't react with other elements. They are stable. Okay. So they exist independently. But other elements or other atoms, they combine with other atoms to form molecules. So why they are combining? Why atoms are combining? Atoms combine to form molecules. And in order to form a molecule, there is an attractive force. Okay? So the attractive force which holds the constituent particles. Constituent particle means it can be either an atom or an ion. So the attractive force which holds the constituent particles is known as what? A chemical bond. Okay? So atoms, they combine through chemical bond. This chemical bond is an attractive force between the atoms. Is it clear? So, it is a general rule in nature that every system wants to be stable, or every system attains stability. They want to be in a stable state. Okay? So atoms, when they combine with other atoms, what will happen? When they form molecule, they will also become stable. And if a chemical bond is formed between two atoms, means which lowers the energy. Usually we say that lower the energy, high will be the stability. So atoms, they combine to form molecules. As a result of it, their energy will get reduced. So they will acquire stability. Okay, so there are many theories. In this lesson we are studying so many theories related to this chemical bond and also the molecular structure. Okay, just like we study in the case of atomic models and all, there are so many theories related to molecular structure. So the first theory regarding the chemical bond was put forward by Cassel-Lewis. Okay, Cassel-Lewis approach. So according to Cassel-Lewis approach, the chemical bond formation occurs, or they explain the stability or the formation of chemical bonds in terms of electrons. Okay, they given an explanation in terms of electrons. So Lewis postulated that every atom, they attain stability when they are held by chemical bonds, okay, or molecules, they attain stability when it is formed by the transfer of electrons. Or we know that when we study the bonds and all, we have studied it in our 10th standard, mainly two types of bonds are there. Chemical bonds are of two types, ionic and covalent, okay. And in the case of both ionic and covalent bonds, either transfer of electrons or sharing of electrons will take place. So Lewis gave some symbols for atoms in order to represent the electrons, okay. And before that, Lewis, we know that, I'll explain that by taking an example. For example, we can take the element lithium, okay. The symbol of lithium is Li. What is the electronic configuration of lithium? It is 2, 1. So how many shells are there for lithium? Lithium have 2 shells. And in the first shell, it have 2 electrons. And in the second shell, or we can call it as a valence shell, and that shell have 1 electron. Okay. So how can we represent an atom? We can represent an atom like this. This is the nucleus of an atom. Okay. And for lithium, there is an inner shell and there is an outer shell. So inner shell consists of how many electrons? 2. And for outer shell, 1 more electron is there. Okay. Inner shell consists of 2 electrons and outer shell consists of 1 electron. So Lewis gave some terms in order to express the atom. Term in the sense, he gave the term kernel. Kernel means this kernel consists of nucleus plus inner electrons. Inner electrons. So kernel consists of the nucleus and the inner electrons. And this is having 1 more electron. Is it clear? And kernel means, especially in the case of a nuts and all, usually nuts are having an outer shell. And inside that we can see that nuts. Similarly, this kernel represents the nucleus as well as the inner electrons, and there is an outer shell. Okay. So in order to represent atom, Lewis uses some symbols, and that symbol is known as Lewis symbol. Okay, Lewis symbol. So Lewis symbol, that symbol represents the electrons in an atom. So next we can look how can we write this Lewis symbol for the other elements. Okay. So again we can take the example of lithium itself because its electronic configuration are here. So we can use the symbol. So in order to represent this kernel, usually the symbol of that element is used. So what is the symbol for lithium? It is Li. So this Li represents the kernel. Kernel means this Li consists of what? The nucleus as well as the inner electron. So what is remaining in this? It is having 1 valence shell, and that valence shell consists of 1 electron. Okay. So that electron we can represent in terms of dots. This is a representation of Lewis symbol. Another example we can take. For example, carbon. For example, carbon, electronic configuration of carbon is 2, 4. Okay. So what is the Lewis symbol for that? The kernel is represented by the symbol C, and how many valence electrons are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the Lewis symbol for carbon. Similarly, we can write down the Lewis symbol for other elements also. For example, boron 2, 3. So B represents the kernel. How many valence electrons are there? 3. So the dots represent the valence electron. And what is the significance of this Lewis symbol is that we can identify the group valency. We can identify the valency of an atom. The valency can be found by either counting the number of dots or if 8 minus the number of dots around the atoms. And that will give you the valency of an atom. So that is the significance of using this Lewis symbol. Is it clear? So the dots around it represents the valence electron, and using that valence electron we can find out the valency also. Is it clear all of you? So you just try to write down the Lewis symbol for other elements also. Okay, thank you.